live on this Sunday morning. Really early Sunday morning. It is 6:36 a.m. on the Sunday morning here in Montreal. Giaconda here. How you all doing? I woke up a little bit later than usual. How late is that? I woke up at 6 actually. I've only been up 37 minutes. I am live. I'm sure my friends from Europe are awake. Hey, Dennis, buongiorno. Kakosi, buongiorno. My coffee is nice and hot. Sensi Joel, bonjour Joel, comment ça va? Actually, I was talking with Dahlia, Joel, and you know what? I would love to have you as a guest on my channel. What do you think, Joel? Tu peux me écrire sur Instagram and we can coordinate, okay? So, what is my scent of the day? So, I sprayed this last night. Has this ever happened to you guys? I said, you know what? Yes, Joel, let me spray this. I sprayed it last night and then I woke up with it, like I got a little whiff of it. And I'm like, you know what? Screw that. This is going to be my scent of the day. This is my Sunday day. The only thing is the label kind of, sort of like, do you see it? It kind of peeled off a little bit, but that's okay, right? Who cares? It's all about the juice. Yeah, Chanel Boy. So you would think, okay, right, Dennis, with the name like Boy, it smells masculine. No, it doesn't. But it does, okay, it does have the lavender. It does have the lavender. It's got the lavender, it's got the vanilla. It's unisex, you know. When I did my live stream with Jonathan, I said, okay, I used Bois des Îles as the unisex, but I had many more, just like he had many more. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should have used Boy. Oh, hey, Andy, I missed you, Andy. It's been a while. It's been a while. So the thing with Boy is it's got that lavender scent, just like Jersey from Chanel as well, right? But I find the projection is nicer, and yeah, I like it better than Jersey. So that's it. That's my scent of the day. It's a great unisex, guys. Check it out. Check it out for yourselves. I only wear it in the summer. Okay, yeah. It does, yes. It's a great scent, Andy, that you can share with your better half. Like, I would certainly share this with my better half. I hope one day to do so. Because it would smell great on him, you know what I mean? Oh, you're wearing Hermes Herbe Vive. Yes. I like the Hermes line. My favorite one for men is Hermes Terre Eau Fraîche. I think that one is really great. It's discontinued. I wear the Terre Parfum Extrait, the parfum, which they do have. I'm eating breakfast at Tim Hortons before I go home to sleep. Night shift. You work in a hospital, Joel? I worked in a hospital for 7 years at the St. Mary's, actually. But I never worked a night shift. I did do day and evening. And the evening we would finish at 11:30. Security, okay. That's not easy, eh? But I'm glad that I caught you, because you see, it was meant to be. I was just talking about you yesterday with Dahlia, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna have Joel, you know. He's really, and plus you're from Quebec, huh? So we can talk about you know, finding perfumes in Quebec as well, you know. And actually, I'm going to, hopefully, if he answers back soon, because I did chat with him. I don't know if you know him, Joel, but he's in the group, because I know you're in our our Canadian fragrance group, right? Hamza, he has a store on Saint-Hubert, not Saint-Hubert, Rive Sud, but on St. Hubert Street, Plaza St. Hubert. And I know him. What a good kid. He's a really good kid, okay? Anyways, I'm going to, I did do a video about his store last year when I was with my friend Virginie. but I want to interview him because he's growing. The kid is growing, and I knew his father, and he's a positive kid. He's doing everything, to help out his father's business, and he's got a combination of niche and Arabic. Dennis is saying, I am only one day on kind of cheap frag. Prada L'Homme. No, that's a nice one. That's a nice one, Dennis. Prada L'Homme Low, I love it. And that one goes unrecognized. You know what I think we should do even? I think the topic should be not unrecognized fragrances, but undervalued, fragrances, or yeah, undervalued. That's what's coming to mind. It's still early in the morning, but fragrances that, didn't fall under the hype, because I know, like, when I was talking with Jonathan about fragrances that made it, for example, Dracar Noir by Guy Laroche, then when another fragrance is released after that big one, it just goes ignored, really, and it shouldn't. And it's because of the timing, maybe. So if they do, let's say, Dracar Noir L'Eau, Dracar Noir Elixir, and all that, remember we were talking about that, then it seems to work. But if you start changing the whole fragrance and introducing something new, people are like, no, 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 I prefer my Dracar Noir, So that's the thing. Just catching up with you want pancakes, Mr. Muddles. Well, actually, the thing with, I'm thinking not gourmand, right? Because I think there are some gourmand scents that smell, that will give off that pancakes. I think there is a perfume out there that smells like pancakes or marshmallows, and some people like that. I don't particularly like that. But I think Bath and Body Works makes stuff like that, no? I agree, Andy, 110% that fragrances go in and out of fashion. It does not mean they are not great, yeah. But when you have that big hitter, like, for example, I'm going to use a guy's fragrance, like, let's go back to Dracar Noir. What can compete with Dracar Noir from the Guy Laroche line, So the one that Jonathan had brought up, what was it? Intuition with mint. I mean, the notes sound exceptional. Now you can find it for what? $10, $15, It's the way the market goes, Sometimes the market is ruthless. It doesn't matter if it's the fragrance market or the makeup market, or fashion, be it clothes or whatever. It's just that when something gets hyped and it becomes iconic, let's say, it's hard to compete with it, Dennis says, I have never bought Bond fragrances, completely unknown. Yes, I had many. Bond number 9, I think you're referring to. They're good. They're good. I have to admit, Dennis, and I think you would like them, to be honest. Very good recommendations. They got discontinued though. Like, I had the Andy Warhol Silver Factory, and stupid me, what did I do? What I always say. I traded it. And I had others as well. I had Brooklyn, and then I had the New York with the heart sign, but the Silver Factory one was exceptional. I don't know, Joel, if you remember it. Anyways, it's impossible to find now. Like, forget about finding that. And of course, I had Chinatown for women, which was great, Good morning, Monty. How are you, darling? Ultimate is in the house. Hello, hello. Pancakes with butter and coffee. I love New Harlem. So, I thought that the Bond number 9 New Harlem, Joel, only smelled of coffee and like marshmallow type of thing, But actually, it's pancakes with butter and yes. Okay. I had a decant of New Harlem a long time ago. It used to be a great hit, Joel? Back in, let's go back. 2010, around that time, I remember a lot of the guys were talking about it. Hey, Moose! Dave is in the house. Hello, 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 my Moose. How are you? We're talking fragrances. You know, Giaconda just woke up at 6 o'clock. You know, normally I wake up earlier. I'm like, you know what? Yesterday, you know, I had a busy day. And I'm like, and I was tired. I was tired, tired as hell. I'm like, let me do a Sunday morning live. This way I get, you know, I get to talk with the boys from the other side, from Australia, from Europe, you know, because it's not 6 in the morning for you guys, you know. Sensi, that sounds very, yes. But the only thing, Mr. Muddles, is where to find New Harlem, right? These Bond number 9 fragrances are just, you know, they're getting harder and harder to find. For those of you that just joined the chat, Giaconda's wearing Boy by Chanel, and this was my scent of the night, and I just decided to extend it to today. I really like it. It's a scent that I would definitely share with my better half, you know. It's got the lavender and the vanilla. It's similar to Jersey, right? But this one projects a lot better on my skin. And I wanted to include it as part of my unisex scents the other night when I did the live. But I'm like, you know what? Let's leave that Bois des Îles, right? Yes. I'm just catching up with the chat. New Harlem was big back then. Yeah, it was a big hit back then. I remember getting a decant of it, but all the guys I knew in Fragcom back in the day, they're like, New Harlem, New Harlem, New Harlem, you know? I really liked Silver Factory. That was my favorite, the Andy Warhol one. Oof, you know, but what did I do? I traded it, what I always do. So you're not a big Chanel, eh, Joe? T'aimes pas vraiment les Chanel? The only Chanel I have, it's the Le Lion. Yeah. So I had Le Lion. I had Lion, and I traded it with my friend Virginie. Oh, on her, it's fantastic. My opinion of Lion. If you're a Shalimar fan, okay, you'll love Lion. Because Lion is big, it projects. It's like a lion. It's big. So I got it in a trade with my friend Marwan. These are the two people I trade with a lot. I hope to trade with Joel actually because he's from Quebec. I'm from Montreal, but I believe Joel, you live in Quebec City. But these two, they're like they're my besties, if you like, and they've both been collecting fragrances for quite a while. So Marwan's like, Anna, you're going to like Leon, you know. But I told him I'm not a Shalimar fan, you know. He says, no, this one is different. So anyways, I put on my Leon and I'm like, oh my God, this, like you could take a shower, 10 showers, and it's still gonna smell. And I was like, whoa, 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 this is too much. So Virginie, who's a big Chanel number 5 fan, big Shalimar fan, she's like, oh, Anna, j'adore ça. So, which means I love it. So she just was ecstatic. She was willing to trade like 10 bottles for Leo. You know, she's a happy camper. Hey, Celie in the house from California. Celie. Good morning, darling sweetheart. How are you doing? How are you all doing? Look at these wonderful souls in my chat. I'm very happy. Once again, Boy by Chanel is the scent of the day for Giaconda. So we've got 8 people here, 14 minutes into the live on this wonderful, wonderful sunny Sunday morning, right? And guess what, guys? My vacation starts today for 2 weeks. I do have one last class to finish up, to wrap up next Saturday, and that's it. Celie, I'm doing great. You look beautiful this morning as always. Mwah, love you. I'm being my busy self, starting breakfast, making sure the dogs are happy, going on a hike, of course. I was thinking, Celie, maybe one day, because I've already done little, you know, short little tarot readings with Lucy. Maybe, I don't know if you do that, but you can hop on and I can have a live stream where we do tarot readings or some kind of reading, you know, because you're into the metaphysical like we are. I'm thinking, you know, maybe I should do another tarot reading. That would be nice. I think it was well received when Lucy and I did it because I've already done it twice. Tarot readings and perfume. What could be cooler than that, eh? So today is the big game. I'm gonna start a poll. I'm gonna do a poll. Um, who will win? So, although I was wrong in a couple of predictions during the soccer matches, the World Cup, I was wrong with two predictions. But from the very, very, very beginning, I said, and people were like, "Well, you can't say that. You don't know, right?" And I'm like, "No." I said, Spain is going to win the World Cup. I remember I was at work. And I said this with two of my colleagues. I said, "You know what, guys? Spain is going to win." "Oh, no, they already won. They're not going to win." I said, "Well, they're going to win the World Cup or they're going to be in the last game." And then I said, "But I want Argentina to win. Like if Italy has disgraced us as it has, well, at least I want Argentina to win, right? Because of Messi." So that's it. They came true. So for me, I mean, who am I rooting for? Obviously, Argentina. And by the way, I was very happy that England kicked the ass of France. They kicked their ass. So I was very happy about that. So Joel says, "I'm not a soccer guy, but I'm hockey." Oh yeah, hockey, of course. Here in Quebec, we love hockey. You know, I used to be a big hockey fan, Joel. J'adorais, moi, le hockey. Oh, mais seulement dans les années 80. So in the 1980s, I remember my friends would come over, we would watch the hockey game, and then we would go dancing. They would all come over my house. We were all huge hockey fans. But then I found that hockey started getting a little bit too aggressive, too aggressive, too political. And I don't know, I just stopped liking it. And I feel like in the last, I would say 15 years, this has been the case also with soccer. Soccer to me is, I'm not saying we don't have fabulous players. We do, absolutely. But it's become very political. Let's face it, everything has become about money. Not that it wasn't about money ever. It was always about money to a certain degree, but it's just not what it used to be. So let's look at the poll. We've got Spain 67%, Argentina 33% with 9 votes. I'm going to close it at 20 votes. I think Argentina stands a chance. Will they win? I don't know. I'm 50-50 about it. My prediction is they may go into overtime penalty shots. I think it's going to be one hell of a game. All the bars and cafes here are going to be jam-packed. I can assure you that. But who's going to win? I don't know. I'm getting mixed vibes as to who's going to win. I just know in my heart who I want to win, which is Argentina. Will they win? I'm so about it. You see, like the votes are, yeah, it's fluctuating, right? So Andy says, "I like Spain. They looked good from the start." Guy Lafleur. Oh yeah, Guy Lafleur, of course. Actually, I mentioned hockey in my first play, Where the Heart Is, 1979. Marianne and her father and the family, they love hockey. And I mentioned Guy Lafleur. Yeah, of course, a legend here in Quebec. FIFA was always corrupt. Okay. You don't mean the soccer that spent 2 minutes rolling in the ground? No, I heard Messi is a Zionist. Don't know if that's true. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. When it comes to stuff like that, I can't really answer. Is he a Zionist? I don't know. All I know is my battery is going low, so I have to just go find my charger while I'm talking to you guys. Let's see. Hopefully this is gonna work. We always have to worry about charging the phone, eh? The phone doesn't charge itself. When I'm at school, though, I always have this routine that doesn't matter where I'm at. Let me charge it. There we go. I'm only down to like 15%. Usually I never let it go down that low. There we go. There we go. Okay, should be okay. Zidane is ahead. I don't like Zidane. No, I don't like Zidane at all. He's just friendly. I can't pick between Spain or Argentina. Prefer not to. Okay, that's good. I mean, I'm not really picking because it's not Italy, My team disgraced us. So, I mean, Canada did better than Italy, so I was happy about that. Canada did well, in comparison to ever, right? So Canada is getting better. The States also, they went the furthest they've ever gone. Sometimes it's not even about winning. We got to see how certain teams have progressed, right? Because the players change, the managers change, and so things change. If you have a terrible manager or if you have so-so players, it doesn't matter who your team is. They'll suck if they don't have the right training. Got to go already. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, Joel, and I will message you on Instagram, okay? Alors, je te souhaite une bonne journée. Get your rest, your sleep, I should say, and talk to you soon. Fans in the stands burn more calories than some players. It's true, with all the cheering and all that, they go absolutely insane. I agree. That's true. Yeah. So we've got 10 votes, 60-40. Kind of makes sense, eh? The 60-40. 60% Spain, I think, really, Spain does have a 60% chance of winning over Argentina. But who do I want? I want Argentina to win, but looks like Spain is going to win. What sport would you like to excel at, Anna? Oh, thank you for this question. When I was young, I wanted to be a ballet dancer, actually. That was my dream, to be a ballet dancer. And it never really happened. I didn't even go to ballet school or anything like that. But I always loved dance. So freestyle dancing, obviously, that's what I continued. And running, I was never good at, nor tennis, but ballet, be it ballet jazz or classical ballet, which is really hard. But yeah, dancing. Question, how many milliseconds in 2 years between? Okay. So many girls had that dream. Oh yeah? So many? Okay, well, I'm among the masses. Ballet it is. Yeah. What about you, Andy? What about you, Moose? The sport you wanted to excel at? A lot of guys I know here in Quebec, obviously, had the dream of being like a hockey player. That was, or a baseball player. My first husband wanted to become a baseball player, and he was a coach, and I was his assistant. So that was nice. I would, my job back in the day when I was his assistant, I mean, he had Frank, his assistant, but I was the assistant where I coordinated the schedules, with the kids, and we would pick them up. We would pick them up. I would contact the parents, and then I would do exercises with the kids, and we would do, yeah, we would do like a little stretching workout, and all that was nice. And then I would buy popsicles for them, and yeah, it was nice. But I always found baseball a boring sport. Like I didn't get it. So slow. But you had to get into it, because my partner then was into baseball, so you have to get into it. You have to help, right? Get into it. So that's how I was useful. I was the assistant coach. It was so much fun. Hey, look who's here. Dave. Morning, morning. Greetings from Montreal. Finishing up my coffee. I woke up later than usual. I woke up at 6, but I did an early morning live. I didn't do anything yesterday. I was really busy yesterday and tired at the same time. Like, oh, let me do an early morning live. It's not early for the other people. But it's really early for Sealy. It's 4 in the morning for Sealy. So, Dave, my scent of the morning is like my scent of the night. Boy by Chanel. This is what I'm wearing. This will be my scent. And I have a poll going up. Spain, Argentina. We already have 19 votes. And we have Spain at 63%, Argentina at 37%. I want Argentina to win. What the heck? And we are at 20. It's just past our morning now. 12:05. I better start doing things. Yes, isn't Sunday the time when you do all the cleaning, right? You do the laundry, you mop. That's what I do. Clean the bathroom, all the errands. If you do your shopping, your grocery shopping, I leave it for Sunday. Pulling for Argentina. Yeah. Silly's like me. She's pulling for Argentina. But Dave is hoping Spain will win. All right. So it's at 21 votes. As Argentina fans, we're burning my flag, and they can go do one. Okay. Oh. Okay. So that's why. Okay. We all have our different reasons why we're cheering for one team, right? It's always like that. Yeah. But Spain, according to this poll, Spain will win 67% and Argentina 33%. Yeah, I'm going to close the poll. At 21 votes, guys. Thank you for voting. I appreciate it. So what is your scent of the afternoon? Right? For most of you, what is your scent of the afternoon? Spain is very good, of course. My prediction was from the very beginning, before the games even started, was that Spain would win, And here they are, There is history with UK and Argentina. No good vibes. Okay, I see. Yeah, of course. Moose says, scent of the day is, oh, I love Le Bain Idal. Oh, that's a beauty. That is a beauty. And I find it very unisex too. I love Le Bain fragrances. I used to have Le Bain and I don't anymore. Kajal. Ooh, nice. Dave is wearing Kajal tomorrow. I don't know that one. Kajal tomorrow? What does it smell like? I have Kajals, but I've never heard of that one. It's a booze fest. The EDT is even better. Wow, cool. So you have what? The EDP? Which version do you have of the Lubin Idole? You know, Armani had a perfume named Idole, right? Even Lancome, I believe. Lancome also, no? And Guerlain Idylle, which isn't the same, obviously. You have both? Oh, you have the EDT and the EDP mousse. Oh, cool. And so that's interesting. With fragrances, sometimes you have the same perfume, but the EDT is different from the EDP. And sometimes they have the cologne version, and then you have the parfum extrait, and sometimes they smell entirely different. Already 31 minutes into the live. This is great. Time passes quickly on the Sunday morning here in Montreal, but not morning in Europe. Certainly not morning in Australia, that's for sure, right? But Dave, tell me a little bit about the Kajal tomorrow. I don't know that one. I really don't. It's 9 p.m. in Australia. It's nighttime in Australia. Some people are already getting ready for bed, and here we are at 7 a.m. here in Quebec, eh? Time zones never cease to fascinate me. You're in the future. That's what I used to tell my cousin when he lived in Australia. I used to say, Fabio, you're in the future. I'm in the past, you're in the future. Almost booze. Is it okay for warm weather? Yeah, that's a good question, because there's a big difference, guys? I'd like to do maybe a live stream about this. The difference between gourmand and boozy scents. Because sometimes you have some gourmand in the booze and you have some booze in the gourmand, right? The notes can be interchangeable. Don't you guys agree? They can be really interchangeable. Yeah. 7 people here, 7 likes. Thank you so much for the likes. And Giaconda is wearing, once again, a Chanel. Boy, unisex, definitely a unisex. Have you guys tried this mousse? You've tried this. Do you own it? Kajal I will pop a pic on my Instagram. It's an easy wear. Okay, cool. I'd say no, Andy. Okay. Good, I'll check it out, Dave, on your Instagram. Yeah, I'll check it out. So yeah, there's so much to talk about when we talk about unisex fragrances. There's so much to cover. The list is kind of like endless, especially now with a lot of things being, gender neutral. There's gender fluidity. There's no such thing as masculine and feminine per se. Anything goes. So we have to even be careful, when we describe fragrances, you just focus on the notes and what the notes mean to you, how, what does lavender, mean to you? How does it make you feel? Is it relaxing and whatever, reassuring or whatever? You know what I mean? You guys agree? So what do you think would be, put in the chat, what do you think would be a great topic when it comes to fragrances? I have covered unisex fragrances, and in the past, I also covered topics like what couples can share as fragrances, which was a lot of fun. I did that with Kay. Then I also covered vintage fragrances, like Italian lines mostly. I focused on Italian lines. I did that on another live with another live streamer. But what are some topics that you guys would like to hear or talk about that hasn't been done? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because there's, when it comes to fragrances, there's so much you can talk about. Yes, it's totally depending on how you feel about a note. Everyone perceives it differently. Yeah, yeah, perception. I just have to sneeze. It's about perception. Imagine I caught a cold. Can you imagine catching a cold in the summer? And I think it's that transition that you make from the heat, walking, as you guys know, I walk a lot, in the heat, walking a lot, and then going into air conditioning. Oh, yes, it totally depends on how you feel about a note. Everyone perceives it differently. But what are some topics that would be of interest that hasn't really been talked about? I have a few in mind, but I'd like to get your feedback. Yeah, so we are 36 minutes into the live. We have 6 people here, 7 likes. Finishing up my coffee. Just gonna catch up with the chat. Let me do another poll. Topics. Or fragrances. So indie houses. Niche. Unknown vintage. Mainstream. Okay, so I have another poll. So Moose is saying, tough question. I'd be the usual questions we'd like is, what scent got you into collecting? What's your earliest memory of a scent? Mr. Muddles, have perfume prices become disconnected from quality? I like that question, yeah. So I have your poll topics for fragrances, indie houses, because like for example, Jonathan and I could have talked about indie houses for sure. And he mentioned Liz Zorn, right? And there are other indie houses that I know, especially modern ones that like Dish. Back in the day, there was an indie house called Dish, DSH, and it's her name is Dawn, right? And she started that. And then there's also Ava Lux, which I know her Ava, right? I haven't chatted with her in a long time. Ava Lux were mwah! And she had a perfume called Shisha. I mean, I could talk about indie houses, but then there's mainstream, new releases, and unknown vintage, right? So these are the topics that came to mind like right now as I'm brainstorming. But I like Mr. Muddles, what he has to say here, talking about prices and quality, definitely. So we already have 4 votes. New releases, okay, seems to be the winner. Indie houses, so far no one is voting for indie houses. Gonna just let the votes run its course. You know, indie houses to me are fascinating, actually. Um, like Dua back in the day. Do you guys wear Dua? I remember when Dua was considered an indie house, by the way, you know, and they're not all about cloning. They're not all about cloning, by the way. They're also about they also had their own blends, which were amazing. And Alexandria, like Hani. I need to reach out to Hani. Is he still around, Hani? I was friends with him on Facebook. But Hani, he had a, I mean, he started with nothing with Alexandria fragrances, but I don't know. I haven't seen him around, so I don't know. But I did have a few Alexandria fragrances. So back in the day, you know, there was Avalux, there was Dish, there was Alexandria, there was Dua. I don't know if you guys remember these. Have perfume prices become disconnected from quality? For me, it's a straight out yes. You know, it's a straight out yes, absolutely. Is it because of inflation? Has everything lost its value really? Even clothes or anything you buy, even groceries, you know, it's just everything is just so expensive. So let's look at the poll. We've got 6 votes. New releases is still in the lead with 50%, which is great. New releases. So when we talk about new releases, I think perfumes get released first in Europe, right? And then in the States, or it doesn't really make a difference. It just depends where the perfume is from. I always thought the Europeans, because back in the day when I used to trade with Europeans, they always had their scents before we did. They would always get the latest release, you know. Oh, unknown vintage is getting votes, and so is indie houses. Okay, good. We're at 6 votes already, which is fantastic. Yeah, you know, because there are some vintage scents that we know, right? But like the one that I was introduced to just the other day, Intuition by Gilarash, I didn't know that one, but some of you guys did, you know, but I didn't, right? I didn't know. And I didn't know that the Intuition by Gilarash, I didn't know that one. So that is an example of an unknown vintage. Sounds about right. We get the leftovers or only the mainstream releases. So that's a bummer, right? Because if you're into fragrances, and let's say sometimes it varies, right, from town to town, city to city. For example, in Canada, it's Montreal, it's Toronto, and Vancouver. Montreal has caught up a lot in the last 10 years. They used to be behind in comparison to Toronto, right? We only started getting, for example, Le Labo fragrances maybe 10 years ago. No, it's not a long time. Um, but yeah, Toronto was always ahead of the game, Vancouver, but now Montreal has caught up. Like we do have niche stores, you know. From memory, I think the original Dior Homme Parfum never released down here. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Well, I think that's a classic. I think that's a classic that, or an icon, and an example of unisex, you know, because I think the Dior, the original Dior parfum, oh wow, it's that iris, eh? That iris note that makes it just exceptional. So new releases is still in the lead in terms of topics of interest when it comes to fragrances. So we have 8 likes. Thank you so much. 5 people here. 45 minutes into the live. Giaconda's scent of the day is Chanel Boy. And Andy is saying, I think also Chanel decides what to send out. Yeah, that's true. I think Pour Monsieur EDT is not available in the US. Oh, okay. I know we have it here in Canada. But yeah, actually, you know what, Andy? You just brought to mind something. Thanks. Um, we can also talk about in the future how certain perfume companies like Chanel and Guerlain, how strict they are with those stringent, I would say, laws when it comes to, like, they've become really cheap with samples, which I can't stand that, and with who, they decide to allow their perfumes to be, like, where they allow their perfumes to be distributed at. You know what I mean? Like, I know Guerlain and Chanel stopped making samples, or so that's what the um, salespeople, or the sales reps, I should say. They're not getting samples anymore, so they're not investing in so much in samples, right? Yes, that would be a good topic. Yeah, I think so. You kind of have to have the knowledge of the perfume industry, like the inside scoop. Either you had to have worked, or people that work there. Um, because I think how you market, right? How you market your, like, Chanel, for example, used to give samples. I remember back in the day, let's go back 10, 15 years, um, while they were still creating the Les Exclusifs line, because this is one of Les Exclusifs, they were giving away the 4 ml minis, and you don't have to buy anything. You just have to show active interest in Chanel, make up some story that you're buying as a gift or whatever, and whoever was there, they would offer you 4 ml mini bottles. And they were cute as hell, adorable, and beautiful little bottles. No, nothing, not even samples, nothing. You get nothing. You like this perfume, buy it, and that's it. Spray it, and that's it. And even with the testers that they have, they keep looking at you. So that's the situation now here in Montreal, anyway. Andy says discontinued fragrances and their possible replacements might be a topic. Yeah, yeah. I like that, Andy. Discontinued fragrances and their possible replacements. Yeah. And yes, minis used to be common. It was okay to share minis. I'm looking at the votes. New releases is still in the lead at 57%. We have the rest are at 14%. New houses, mainstream, unknown, vintage. We've got 9 people in the house with 9 likes and 49 minutes into the live. So topics for fragrances. Should we talk about indie houses? Should we talk about, and don't forget, when we say indie houses, we don't just mean indie houses in Canada and the US, not just North America, okay? We mean indie houses worldwide. Indie houses worldwide. You have indie houses from Australia, you have from the UK, you have from everywhere. I find indie houses fascinating, and I was having this discussion with my friend Marwan. They take such great care, indie houses, with the packaging. They take such great care with the packaging, and yeah, and the creativity uh, behind the perfumes is incredible. But then what happens to them if the indie house becomes famous? That individualized packaging and care they take kind of, like, goes out the window a little bit. Yeah, minis used to be common. I know people. I had a friend, she collected minis. She had a collection of 500 bottles of minis. The thing with minis is that they don't take up as much space as real bottles, but there's, my opinion, there are two disadvantages to minis. Well, I mean, do you really wear them? Do you really have the desire to wear a mini? Unless it's a 7.5 mini, then yeah, but if it's like a 4 ml mini, I don't know, you kind of want to keep it full. But you need to display them nicely, otherwise it looks weird, and you need to clean them because they collect dust a lot faster. Yes, we should support competition. Popular houses can get lackluster. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Mm. And sometimes, an indie house may be affiliated with a mainstream house, right? Or a niche house. It may be like a sister company, you know what I mean? But we just don't know about it. You know what I mean? That happens a lot. We should support competition. And then there's the marketing. If you're an indie house and you don't do any marketing, how are you going to get exposure? I mean, don't forget, nowadays with social media and all that, it's not like what it used to be 15 years ago or 20 years ago. We still had social media back then, but now it's a lot faster. It's a lot faster, right? To get that exposure. So let me look at the poll, 7 votes. We still have new releases in the lead. Thank you guys. This is giving me, a ballpark figure here, which I like, of topics, The thing with unknown vintage, you really, really, really have to know your vintage. And then even if you talk about unknown vintage, you need to share with the viewers, well, okay, where can I buy it? Where can I find it? And of course, you can find it online. But if you can't find it online, then what's the point, right? Yeah. Just gonna catch up here with the chat. What time is it? 7:30. It's still so early here in Montreal. It's so early. Are there any indie houses, let's say from Australia, Moose, or from Ireland, that we should look out for? I've always wondered about Ireland. Do you guys have indie houses just from Ireland? There was one perfume I remember when I first started collecting that was from Ireland, and now I forget the name. And it was a girl from Ireland who was one of my swap partners, because I used to be on Makeup Alley back in the day, 2005, 2006, and she was from Ireland. And there was one perfume, only one, and then she sent me the bottle. Damn, I can't remember. So Andy is saying possible topic, fragrance regulation. There are houses like Rogue Perfumery that they are non-IFRA compliant, but buy maybe not. Okay. Moose says Forte Mantle is probably the one that comes to mind. From Australia, Moose? That comes to mind from Australia. I know there was one from Ireland. Is it called Ines? 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 Does that make sense, Andy? It was for women. Ines, because I'm visualizing the bottle, and I think I remember it saying Ines. Does that make sense? Ines. Yep, 40 Thieves is probably their biggest release. I think there are a few in Ireland. I should know them, but I don't. Okay. But I think Ines is one of them. Forte Mantle. 40 Thieves. So Forte Man of 40 Thieves is their biggest hit, Moose? Is that their biggest hit? I know that when I had done a live stream, I don't know, a few months ago, there are some indie houses in Europe, right, that never really made it to North America. And but they're on Fragnatica. Like if you just type in the name of the country of your choice, you'll see there it's popular within Europe, within that country, but it's not mainstream, meaning it hasn't received international recognition, you know. So the list really is endless of perfumes and perfume houses that we don't know about. I think you can discover them a lot. Like if you're a big traveler and you go to airports, right? And the duty free, the customs, you know, the duty free shops, you'll see. I mean, I don't think they only have mainstream. They'll have some houses that are popular in that country. Oh yeah, Goldfield and Banks, made famous by Demi Roth. Yes, that's true. That's true, Moose. Yeah. It's coming to mind now. Goldfield and Banks. That was talked about even in the Canadian fragrance groups. Yeah, that I'm part of. Yeah. Yeah. I need to touch base again with them. I haven't really, I don't really check. I'm not on Facebook that much anymore, and I should get back into it. So unknown vintage has gone up to 25%. New releases is still in the 50%. It seems to be what people in this chat are interested in, the new releases. You know, nowadays, guys, the new releases is always Elixir, Eau de Parfum, Eau Léger, Eau Floral. It's, you know what I mean? Like maybe one day they're gonna have Chanel Boy Extrait, you know? Eight votes. Come on, guys, continue voting on topics for fragrances. Hey, Dennis, I have Pacific Rock Moss and Silk Wood from G&B, both good. Well, you know, on the Canadian group, they said nothing but good stuff about Goldfield and Banks, actually. Apparently, it's a great niche line. Solid, solid perfumes, mostly appreciated by men, though. Yes, flakes, too many. Yeah. But Silk Wood, I've seen mentioned quite a bit. Silk Wood. Okay, so Moose says the only one I've smelled is Pacific Rock Moss. It's okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Keep voting, guys. We're at 8 votes. I'm going to close the poll at 10. New releases. No, not new releases. Yeah, new releases. Sorry. New releases seems to be in the lead as to the topic of your choice. Good people of chat. Yes, I've got amazing people in this chat. Mwah! Giaconda kisses you. Absolutely. Yeah, so topics for fragrances. If you haven't voted Dennis, please vote. Yeah, Dennis is a star. We love Dennis. We love you all. 8 votes, yeah. And I wonder if, you know, if there's going to be like some kind of evolution to fragrances. You know what I mean? I know I'm thinking like I'm really being outlandish in my thinking now. Like we know a fragrance in a bottle, right? This is how we know it. Whether it's big, small, medium, large, whatever, it's a bottle. And you have, you know, the sprayer or the dab on or whatever. And then you have even perfume oils, right? But solids are highly underrated, right? You do have solids. You do have some perfume houses that make solids. So it's like a solid and you just dab it on your, you know. What do you guys think of that? Do you think, like, aside from the solid form of putting on perfume, do you think there may be an evolution as to how we spray or wear perfume? Dennis, thank you very much. I have wrote for a known vote. Sorry. Yeah, great. Okay, fantastic. Unknown vintage. Yeah, so remember, like, thank you for voting, Dennis. So if we're going to talk, let's say, about unknown vintage, you really have to be a connoisseur of the vintage. And then you have to direct the people, okay, you want to discover this unknown vintage? This is where you go online, you know? Interesting. I have not tried solid. Yeah. So I was talking about this with some friends, and I know two people that only wear solid perfume. And to me, it's like, okay, it's like a balm, you know? I'm like, but that's not perfume. And they're like, yeah, it is. I'm like, no, not really. So we had like this big debate. I didn't really find it to be perfume. And for them, it's the only way they can be scented somehow without it giving them a headache. All right. Some people suffer from migraines, etc., etc., and they're okay with solids, you know. So I'm like, it got me thinking. I'm like, will there be, like, aside from solids, you know, will there be another way of wearing fragrances? Yeah. So it's usually, 9 out of 10 times, it's usually women that will wear solids. I'm not sure, actually, but don't quote me on this. I'm not sure that there are any fragrances for men, let's say, or unisex, that have solids. I'm not sure, though. 9 votes. One more vote, guys, and then I close the poll. We've got 11 likes. Mwah! Thank you for the likes. 8 people here. 1 hour and 2 minutes, going on 3 minutes into the live. It is 7:39 a.m. on this beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is shining. I had my amazing breakfast. My coffee is finished, though. Gotta drink the water now. We gotta drink the water. People spray their clothes and people have bracelet with, oh, yes. That is an interesting trend. The bracelet that's scented. I think I've seen that only a couple of times. Have tried oils and water-based. Not a huge fan. Yes, the oils I've tried. The water-based I've tried, but they were Arabic lines. So because you have some perfumes that don't have alcohol in it, so they're water-based. It's like putting scented water on your skin, so it doesn't really smell of anything. Yeah. So I'm like you, Dennis. I tried the water-based. I tried the oil. I tried a couple of times the solids, but the bracelet I've never tried. Yeah, some people that are allergic to perfume on their skin or have just highly sensitive skin will spray their clothes. For me, it's like it wouldn't be worth it. If I would have to just spray my clothes, I would just have like 2 bottles or something and that's it. What's the point? Bracelets, yeah. Yeah, bracelets. Interesting, eh? A scented bracelet? That's interesting. How much does the bracelet project? Like sometimes I'll put some oil on my bracelet, I'll do that. Or on my my stones. Like this is a very precious stone. It's from Libya. It's yellow. It's yellow. I always forget the name. Ketatite or something, but it's from Libya, and it protects me, right? So sometimes I'll just put a little bit of oil on it, you know. And we have reached our 10 votes. New releases 50%, unknown vintage 20, mainstream 20, and indie houses is 10. So according to this chat, the indie houses is the least of interest. Thank you for voting, everyone. Thank you so much for voting. I am turbo over sprayer, so I doubt that I would be a fan of solid. Yeah, well, same here. Yeah, same here. We can see you again. Yes, Giaconda's here. Yeah, I'm wearing my other glasses, so I'm going to, I had the the artistic ones, and I have these. So I'm gonna like change like every 2-3 days. I'll change my glasses. Most people actually told me they prefer these. I like the other ones too. The other ones you can see my eyes more. So we're 1 hour and 6 minutes. We're going to have more fragrance talk, that's for sure. There's so much to say about fragrances. You are a responsible librarian, yeah? I actually, I know a couple of librarians, yeah. And they have the librarian look, but they don't look like me. Like they don't have tattoos and stuff, you know? So Giaconda's back, powered by Celine Paris, fancy girl. You prefer these ones? Guys, you prefer these glasses or my artistic ones? Which ones do you prefer? I love my new ring. Do you like my ring? I love this ring. This is my power ring. Yep, you prefer the Celine, yeah? I like them both, yeah? They kind of have very different looks, right? Like you guys say this one has the librarian. Motorhead, yeah, like Lucy said. Yeah. But the Ace of Spades and spirituality represents new beginnings. And it also reminds me of my father. Yeah. Blackjack. That was his nickname, Blackjack. So the Ace of Spades. So as soon as I saw this ring, I'm like, I gotta wear it. And I gotta wear it on this hand, which is my right hand, and I gotta wear it on this finger. So here we are, a little bit over an hour. Hey, Bilbo, how are you? Bilbo. One of my top 5 men is Bilbo. I don't care what anybody says. Bilbo is the guy for me. So we're wearing Chanel, Boy by Chanel. I wore it last night. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to continue wearing it today. We had 2 polls. People want to know a little bit more about new releases. Indie Houses was the last one on the list. Andy says he likes both glasses. Maybe those ones are a bit better for me. Okay. It's so funny though, eh? Because the ones that like my purple glasses really like them. They're like, oh, wow, you know? And the ones that like these, you know, so that's why I'm like, I have 2 pairs of glasses, which cost me a fortune because I wear progressive. So I'm just, gives me variety. That's it. You know, variety is the spice of life, right? Chanel Boy is cool. Like this is a great fragrance to share with my my upcoming emperor, right? He better like it. He better like it. If he doesn't like it, I have Bois des Îles. If he doesn't like Bois des Îles to share with me, I have Jersey. I can't share Gardenia with him because I have Gardenia as well. If he likes Gardenia, I'm in trouble, eh, guys? Imagine my upcoming emperor says, my favorite scent from your collection is Gardenia by Chanel. Uh-oh, red flag, right? Upcoming emperor. Isn't that nice? Because yeah, he's on his way. I could just see him. He's on his way. The emperor's on his way. Yeah. Upcoming emperor. Try the slipper on him. No. I like to joke around, guys. I'm just fucking around. We are our own emperor and empress. It's inside of us, right? We are here. It's us. It's us. Yeah. But I like that, Andy. Try the slipper on him. Are you the emperor? Let's see if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits, then so be it. You're the upcoming emperor. Just don't like Gardenia by Chanel. I'm not sharing that one with you. You have to joke. I joke about everything. People that know me, like I joke online too. But people that know me, all in the most tense situations, Anna's going to strike up a joke. But it's usually there's sarcasm there, and it makes people crack up. People that know me are like cracking up. Yeah. Riding a white horse in shining armor. Yeah, I can imagine the upcoming emperor. He's with my luck. Dennis, picture it, 2026. We hope he's coming this year before I turn 60, right? I'm 57, so it's got to be before I turn 60. He's on his white horse wearing gardenia, smelling like flowers. Can you imagine? How will Giaconda respond to that? I'm sure Bilbo's going to come up with an answer. So, this is a sign. As soon as I said that, 12, 12, 12, 12. So whenever we look at numbers and they double, 12, 12 has meaning in numerology. There you go, talking about my emperor. 12, 12 is my hint. So we're 1 hour and 12 minutes. So we've got 12, 12, and 12. There you go. This is going to be one heck of an emperor. The 2026 version. White SUV and wearing Nike trainers. Oh boy. That sounds a touch tacky. I don't want him to be tacky. He has to be different. He has to be different. Dave. Bilbo, is Dave my emperor? The stream went down for a few seconds. It did? My stream? No, it didn't go down. I'm here, Bilbo. What are you talking about? I've got 11 people in the house, 12 likes. Wearing my boy, Chanel. Talking about an upcoming emperor not smelling like Gardenia Chanel. It must have been on your end, Bilbo. Yeah. Yeah, his phone just couldn't take it. Me talking about the emperor. Or maybe it's the Gardenia Chanel. The phone's like, fuck this shit. What is that broad talking about? Your phone doesn't like me talking about the emperor, Bilbo. Yeah, it's funny. Just checking. My top fans. My top fans. Bilbo. Oh, my screen was loading. Really? It was loading? What was it loading, Bilbo? What the heck are you loading? What are you loading, my friend? So, what are you guys up to on this Sunday? What are you guys gonna do? Do you guys go out for breakfast with friends? I used to do that a lot. I used to do breakfast with Daddy a lot, That was our thing, Sunday breakfast. That was the only time, I was really free in the mornings. So many emperors. No. Bilbo. Only one. There's only one emperor, the upcoming emperor. Forget the past. Those were not emperors. They were barely dukes. No, the upcoming. Bilbo. Giaconda is saving the best for last. This is the way you got to look at life. You save the best for last, right? Bilbo's making a new video production. Anyways, I'm a big fan of Bilbo, and I don't care who says otherwise. Giaconda don't care. I'm a big fan. So, 10 people here, 12 likes, an hour and 16 minutes into the live, talking about an upcoming emperor not wearing gardenia Chanel. We don't want that, okay? That's the only criteria Giaconda has. Please don't wear gardenia. I do know some men that like gardenia, though. Jokes aside, because we're joking, right? He can wear whatever he likes. Jokes aside, there are some men that like gardenia in their perfume. Not just strictly gardenia, like Chanel gardenia, I'm joking now. It's all gardenia. It's a bouquet of gardenia, you know? But I can't think of any offhand. I know there are some unisex scents with gardenia. Obviously, iris, mostly iris. Iris is a scent that men appreciate. Gardenia, I know there are some, I don't know, Emperor comes with Yves Saint Laurent Kuros and wearing lumberjack. I don't like Kuros. And a lot of my guy friends are like, boo, Anna, boo, we don't like you anymore. Oh my God. When I say I don't like Yves Saint Laurent Kuros, I don't like Chanel Antaeus, I don't like Sauvage, they're like, boo. I don't like, you know. I was curious, what brand of cigs did you use to smoke? So back in the day when I was a smoker, because I quit just recently, but from 2015 till 2025, I smoked native cigarettes because they were cheaper. So we would go up to the reserve and get them. But prior to that, it was Du Maurier. And when we would go to the States, I used to smoke Marlboro. I liked Marlboro and Marlboro Lights and Chesterfield. Chesterfields were the cigarettes that James Dean used to smoke. Yeah. What about you, Bilbo? Were you a smoker? I enjoyed smoking. I enjoyed it. Some people smoke but don't enjoy it. And I mean, I never really, this is what people have told me. They said, Anna, you never really smelled the smoke. You didn't stink of smoke. Because after every cigarette, or sometimes, you know, I would smoke 2 cigarettes in a row if I was very stressed. But I would always wash my hands, right? And then you need to wipe your face a bit, because the smoke will stay on your face and on your hands, right? And sometimes if you get, you know, the yellow stains, that's disgusting. I know my first ex used to have the yellow stains, and I used to give him so much shit. So you had to like use lemon, right? Rub lemon on your finger to get rid of those stains. But one way would be to wash your hands after smoking. Kuros smells like a pub toilet and clothes. Yeah, I don't like Kuros. No, I don't like it. No, I agree with you, Dave. When I was smoking, I used Davidoff, Magnum, and Cardillion, and Son Exclusive. Oh, so you were a smoker too? Yeah, many of us were, in our age group. Yeah, smoking was fun. If it didn't kill you, I'd still be doing it. Same here. What happened to me was I started feeling a tightness around my throat. It scared the shit out of me. It happened 2 days in a row, and my blood pressure was pretty high, but I was also highly stressed. It was a month before me moving from my 20-year place. So it just scared the shit out of me. This tightness here, you know? I was like, what am I having? Like, am I gonna have like something happen to me? So that's what triggered it for me to stop smoking. And I quit cold turkey, which was hard, very, very, very hard. But I just told my brain, no, you don't need smoking to relax. No, smoking does not appease you in any way. You really have to speak to the brain, which is really hard because the body goes into withdrawals, right? Smoking, yeah. So the thing when you're not a smoker, and especially if you're an ex-smoker, you can't hook up with a smoker. You just can't. Maybe let's be fair. 10-15% of the people will be okay, will be accepting. So because I'm an ex-smoker, I can't hook up with a smoker. Yeah, same here. I remember smoking in restaurants. I remember, we would enter a restaurant back in the day, 80s and 90s, even early 2000. It would be like smoking or not smoking section. That was always the case. Even airplanes. Like when I last flew to Italy in the late 80s, was in 88. We were in the back, which is the worst. We were in a huge plane, Alitalia. It was a huge plane, and we were at the tail end. The end was the smoking section. That doesn't exist anymore. Me too gave up in 99, but every now and then I'll have a social smoke. Some people can do that. I can't. If I have one, I'm done. That's it. I'm finished. If I have one cigarette, I'm done. I'll be smoking again. So I can't even have a puff, 9 people here, 12 likes, 1 hour and 22 minutes into the live. It is 8 o'clock here in Montreal, sunny Montreal. What are you guys up to on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday? What are your plans for today? Will you be with your empress? Do you have an empress, guys? How do you imagine her if you don't have one? How do you visualize your empress? Here I am talking about my upcoming emperor. What about your empress? I want to hear all about her. Or do you see her as a queen? Or do you see her as a princess? Or do you see her as a duchess? How do you envision her? I see mine as an emperor. My upcoming overdue emperor. Not wearing gardenia. Chanel, that's for sure. Let me catch up with the chat here. Dave, yeah, he gave up in 1999, but he has a social smoke. Bilbo, about to walk to the farmer's market. I'm going to touch everything, but not buy anything. Oh, that's not nice. You're going to touch all the fruits and vegetables, Bilbo, and not buy anything? That's nasty. You're a nasty one. I can imagine, I would love to go to a farmer's market. We don't get that in the city. I mean, we have farmer's markets here in Quebec, but you have to drive down. But yeah, I'd love to go to a farmer's market. That sounds like fun, actually, on a Sunday. And you know what I love? And I used to do this a lot on Sundays. We used to go to the flea market that was out of town. Oh, the blast. I used to go with my dad and my ex-husband at the time. We used to go to the flea markets. We would leave here at 8 in the morning and just spend the whole day, tan at the same time, walk, and just find vintage, whatever. I would look for vintage furniture, vintage perfumes back in those days. All the stuff I got. I'm like, yeah, this is too firm. You like your fruit soft? You're supposed to like it firm. What are you talking about? Like pears. I can't stand soft pears. The yellow, I like it green and firm. Crunchy, you know what I mean? Crunchy. Yeah, I remember going into pubs with my dad as a kid, and there was a thick layer of smoke that would snake you in the face, like walking into a vacuum, no air. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. That was one great disadvantage, Dave, with the pubs, that smoky air, and you would just breathe that in. So weather actually was even worse if you weren't a smoker, the secondhand smoke. Some of these bananas these days you have to wait 2 weeks before. Well, I love eating bananas, so a banana a day keeps the doctor away. um, but I'm finding bananas are not as tasty as they used to be, and they're green, as you say, and then they turn ripe real quick and brown. And I don't like when it has the brown dots and all that, and it's soft. No, so it's got to be an early yellow, when it just phases out of the green and turns yellow, but it's still not mushy. Nobody wants a soft banana, right, Bilbo? Oh my God. Nobody wants a soft banana. Same, has to be firm. Yeah, has to be firm. I remember I would bring, like, because now, summer school, we're on break. But anyhow, I remember a colleague of mine, he retired in June. I would just like bring bananas to him because he liked uh, the real mushy bananas. So mine would just turn mushy within 2 days. When you live alone, like how many bananas can you eat? One a day max. So, and he loved um, the bananas. He loved the bananas that were overly ripe. And some people can make shakes out of this and all that. So, and but I used to make smoothies, but I don't anymore, which I should. I should get um, back into it. Freeze them. Can we? We can freeze bananas? We could freeze bananas. Yeah, when they make those shakes, they have all the vegetables frozen. But I think you need to do it like in a Ziploc bag, right? It has to be perfectly sealed. It's smart what you're saying. But do we remove? We just slice them up and freeze them, right? Those brown soft spots are a turn off. And Bilbo, as you get older, you start having the age spots. Maybe that's why I don't like them, right? I don't want to imagine the age spots. Like humans, we get age spots too as we age. But what can you do? We have to accept. But yeah, fruits are not what they used to be. Not at all. But I know in Italy, when yeah, you go to Italy, and my mom's place, my mom's town, you have peach trees, and you just take a nice peach from, and figs. Oh my God, that's paradise. Don't freeze strawberries. Horrible results unless you tend to use them for a smoothie. Yeah, that's what I heard about the strawberries. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, and even raspberries, right? If you freeze raspberries, that gets tricky, right? Unless, like you said, for the smoothies, right? Unless it's for the smoothies. Again, 12-12. Guys, today I'm going to have a memorable day. Guys, again, 12-12. And it's 1 hour and 28. So we've got the 12 there. Oh my God. 12-12. 12-12 is Anna's message. Giaconda's message. 13-13. I've got another one. Wow, wow, wow. And we've got my baby doll in the house. Hello, Dahlia. What about 13-13? Even better. Even better, honey. Lots of pesticides on all the mass-produced fruits and I know, and that scares me, Bilbo. That's what scares me. It's the pesticides. Because apparently that's what causes cancer, right? So the thing I know, I think most European countries are like that. They're mostly organic. I just know that the food quality in Italy is fantastic, right? So the produce there is fresh. And I know lots of people that have moved there, and have told me, Anna, you can't compare. Even when you eat pasta there, you're not bloated, right? So here I try to buy organic pasta from Italy. I go to the stores, I pay a fortune for the goddamn pasta, but you don't feel it sitting here, you know? It also causes autism. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. Wow. It's pesticides are not good for us. That's for sure. You know, however you wish to look at it. And even a lot of meat is not good for you. Dennis, Anna, I wouldn't hesitate if I have the opportunity to fulfill my dreams. You dream of living in Italy. Do it if you can. Well, I like to listen to your advice, Dennis, because to me, you are a role model, Dennis. You are a role model. Um, I'm also leaving Germany this year. Yes, I remember when I read your cards, I saw that. Definitely. And we can do a follow-up reading. I'm going to ask Lucy if she wants to do another card reading live stream with me. But that was very clear. But you're a role model, Dennis, because you live life to the fullest. And that's it, you know? And like I said in a previous live stream, I've been a workaholic for the last 25 years. All I do is work, really. Work, because even my creative projects are work related, you know? It has to be work related, whether it's a creative project, just to chill. You'll never find Anna just chilling and doing nothing. I feel immensely guilty, you know? So that's just as bad as being lazy, I think. It's the polar opposite, and it causes anxiety. And one of these days, Spence, you got to do your pick, but with Richard Pryor. Spence is here? Where's Spence? I don't see Spence. Where's Spence, Dahlia? Oh my God. Is he here? I want you to chill and do only what you want and when you want. I don't know how, Dennis. I need you as my inspiration. I need to fly down to Croatia. He's folded in here somewhere. Is he? I can't find him. Spence, where are you? Where are you? Because I'm asking this because when was it? Yesterday? When did I do the walking stream? It was Friday, no? Yeah, it was Friday when I interviewed Jonathan. He wasn't appearing in the chat, Dahlia. So I was like, oh, and then so I'm like, what's going on, Yeah. So guys, if you check my my YouTube, my profile pic, that's all thanks to Spence. So he did an AI. I modified it a little bit the way I want it, and even the banner, it's all Spence who did it. So can you turn on all messages from a vertical live? I don't know. Because when I look at the chat, all the messages appear, Dahlia. I don't know. Marry rich, even better. No. I never married rich, and I never will. No. That's not what turns me on. I need to enjoy the company, I mean, everybody wants to be comfortable. Nobody wants to live on the street. But everything, I remember my father telling me, people that have a lot of money have a lot of problems. I mean, he was a businessman, right? So he had to deal with banks. He was doing a whole bunch of things, my father. The more money you have, the more problems you have, right? Because the more risks you have. So the risk of making more money, of course, but also the risk of losing money. And you have to have a certain character for that. If you're like a person like myself, you would always say this, person who's nervous, like I'm not a big risk taker. If you're nervous and you're not a risk taker when it comes to money, you can't go into business. You have to be a risk taker, and you have to be willing to take the losses with the gains, you know? Yeah. But, oh yeah, a guy with a lot of money, well, you know, or a woman with a lot of money usually will want someone with a lot of money, right? To make it balanced. I could never function in that relationship. Yeah. But they have problems. Like when a wealthy person marries another wealthy person, usually, you know, um, everything comes with a price. You know, everything comes with a price. I think if you have your health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your physical health, your emotional health. So when we say health, we have to include all four elements of a human being's health. If you have your health, you are a billionaire because you have everything, right? You have the mental stability to see, recognize, accept, whatever. You have the emotional stability. Everything is stable. You're on stable ground. And once you're on stable ground, you can do anything. So, and money can't buy that. Like you can't, let's say you're a billionaire and you're mentally unhealthy, emotionally unstable, physically not healthy, and you're a billionaire and you ask, hey, I will offer $2 billion, make me healthy. Will that happen? What are the chances of that happening? None. You know, and that billionaire would give up everything he or she owns to be, let's say, healthy, like the average person standing next to him or her, right? So we take that for granted. Dennis says, I consider myself that I had enough luck and skills to get to point of being independent and not depending on others. But now I want to go into working less and having more time. Yes, of course. Um, as you get older, you start feeling it. I have an immense amount of energy, as you guys know. But where I'm starting to feel it, it's summer school. But then, you know, a friend of mine said, Anna, you've been teaching summer school 5 years in a row. You haven't traveled in 12 years. So it has nothing to do with you're feeling the pinch of summer school. You're just like nonstop. You're just working nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. So, and plus I moved last year, right? So, yeah, sometimes I take for granted a few things, which isn't good. It's not good to take anything for granted. You know what I mean? Yeah, so when I click on top fans, I see Spence, but I don't see him in the chat. This is weird. How come I don't see him in the chat? I'm sorry, Spence, that I don't see you in the chat. But maybe you can guide me on how I can see you. Sell the bottles and move to Italy. I don't think you'd be able to take them anyways. Hey, Jonathan is here. Good morning, Jonathan. That's an idea. But you know what? That's an idea that you gave me, Dahlia, to sell my bottles and move to Italy. Yeah. But you know what? Who am I going to sell them to? People don't have money to buy what, you know, unless I undersell. Let's say I want to sell this, Dahlia. You know, let's say I want to sell my boy by Chanel, which is a 250 ml. If I sell this in the freight, because selling to the US, forget it, eh? With the shipping and the customs, it's not what it used to be. Those days are over. I did an immense amount of selling and trading from 2006 up until 2019, and then forget it. Here in the Canadian groups, or even on Facebook Marketplace, I need to undersell this. And then people are going to say, is it authentic? And this, they're going to bust your balls. So, I don't know. Selling boy to get rich. Okay, Epstein. Huh. I see, Spence. You got view all messages. Okay, view all messages. But where do I click for that? Because I don't have the icon for view all messages. I don't see Spence. How come I see all of you guys, but I don't see him? Like, how come? Let me just scroll again. Oh, I see Bilbo, Dahlia again. I see Dennis, Dahlia, John, Moose. Like John, as soon as John entered, I saw. Shipping into you would be even. Oh yeah, like back in the day, I used to swap with Europeans and Americans and even Australians. But yeah, there were some delays in shipping a little bit, but to the US, it was just as fast, even faster than within Canada. And I had my swap partner from New Jersey, and I would swap with her almost weekly. And our packages would arrive within 2 to 3 working days. She had an incredible collection, and that stopped in 2020. I miss her, actually. Sabotage burners in action. Oh yeah? Where? I missed them. Who took care of them? Probably Dahlia's fast. She's like, she's the burner sniper. She's the burner sniper. I love her. We have 15 people in the house and 14 likes. 1 hour and 42 minutes into the live. Help me, guys. Where do I click all messages? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Moose. Yeah, I see who was timed out. Thanks. Yeah, burner. Yeah, burner sniper, even Moose. These two are amazing. These two are amazing. Oh, what happened, Dahlia? That's Spence, Moose. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So where do I click, guys, for all messages? I have 3-dot friendly fire. Collateral. Oh, shit. What's going on, guys? Sorry, Spence. Oh, you timed out Spence by mistake? Is that what happened? Spence is formerly Dunk. Very similar name. Okay. I can only see, I can click on top fans. So I see who are my top fans, but I can't see where to click for all messages. Dave taking people out. What's going on, Dave? But it can happen, right? Because it's not Spence's usual account, I guess, because I couldn't see him. Let me see. Let me click. If I click on the wheel, will that show me all messages, Moose? You don't know who's who anymore? No, we're just trying to figure out how I can 3 dots chat filter all messages. I don't, but 3 dots. I don't have it. That's the problem. You said that already about the 3 dots, but do I scroll all the way up? I don't have it. The 3 dots, I don't see it. See, this is the issue. I only have the wheel at the bottom. I have the it's like a square with all the dots where I can choose how to do a poll. I wouldn't know how to change my YouTube handle if my life depended on it. Oh, I've come a long way, Jonathan. I started streaming, what, 2.5 months ago? I didn't know how, like, I became a member of StreamYard. I subscribed to it, and I had never live streamed my whole life. And the first couple of times I had issues because I didn't know how to, I didn't have a microphone. No, the story is I didn't have a microphone. I was using my webcam. I'm from my desktop. Like here I'm on my phone now. And I didn't have a microphone. Then I bought a microphone on Amazon. It was like I paid $55 for that microphone. But on my desktop, when I would connect it and then I would get on StreamYard, I couldn't see the name of my microphone. And then when I connected it on my laptop from work, it was visible. Anyways, it took me 4 weeks to figure out that the name of my microphone didn't pop up, but another name popped up, something 77. And so that was my microphone. And then my viewers had to bear me screaming as Dahlia, screaming, sounding like I'm in a bathtub during my live streams. It was horrific, but they were patient. And now I have the microphone, you know, and I'm able to stream. So I know how to, I've learned how to, to do my morning lives on the vertical, and then the evening live streams. I've done pre-recorded videos, and then I've done recorded video as a premiering videos where people are in the chat, you know, so I'm playing around with lots of options. And now I have this little challenge with the chat. I need to figure this one out. You know, it's step by step. It's step by step you learn, and you need to be patient with yourself. Is this actually Davy B? I don't know. Should be here around somewhere. Yeah. I can't see the 3 dots. This is the issue. And if I press like I did while I was walking on Friday Moose, there's an arrow that goes down, you know, where there's like that picture. When you click on that picture, it's to have the poll. And then there's an arrow going down. If I press that, it's going to close my live. I know I did that a few times. Oh, you got a decant of Guerlain Vetiver per L? I had the B bottle back in the day. Biggest mistake. I sold it. I sold it at a good price, though. Oh, wow. Give it to me, Dahlia. Yeah. The dry down is pretty. Yeah. Yeah, the opening is not that great. Never been called a man-witch before, but I'll take it, says Dave. 10 seconds, Spence. Should be back now. Okay. So where can I find the 3 dots? Is it here? No. When I click on all those dots in a square, it says playables. I was very lucky to get my hands on a bottle last year. Yeah. Vetiver pour elle by Guerlain is impossible to find nowadays. The B bottle. I can just imagine its value, you know. So when I did a poll earlier this morning, Jonathan, I asked the people in the chat what are some topics they would like to talk about. Unknown vintages, mainstream, new releases, and indie. And new releases was the top vote, was at 50%, I believe. And indie being the least interest. But unknown vintage was also of interest. When you click 3 times on the dots, you get master shutdown. Oh, okay. But I don't see the 3 dots. Yeah. So what are you guys up to on this Saturday morning? Have you had your breakfast yet, Jonathan? Dahlia? Dark Wonka. Can you see me now? Yes, I can, Spence. I can. Yay. I can see Spence. Yippee. That kajal you asked about, Anna, it's kind of fresh, spicy, reminds me a little of Zaroff's signature. Different but similar vibe. Okay. Coffee is all I do. Yeah. So, Jonathan, do you miss living in New Jersey? Like, New Jersey to me is like Montreal. I remember back in the 80s, we would drive down to New Jersey every summer. If we weren't going to Italy, we were going to New Jersey. No breakfast in the morning, says Dahlia. It slows me down. Okay. When I was young, I didn't have breakfast. But then once I hit my mid-30s, I did. Tea for me. Okay. So some people are not coffee people. They drink tea, right? Hell no. I miss living in West Palm. Okay. So you don't miss New Jersey, but you miss West Palm. Yeah. Cool. 10 people here, 14 likes. Thank you for the likes. 1 hour and 51 minutes into the live. It is a sunny Sunday morning here in Montreal. Giaconda's scent of the day is Boy Chanel. I smell good. I smell good. It's Spence, John. Yeah, Dark Wonka, 26. So Spence, how come I don't see the 3 dots? Help me, help. I need somebody, help. Not just anybody, help. Where are those 3 dots? Damn it. So I see the top fans is here. Then there's like a wheel. Okay, so you don't know. Okay. On my screen, it's top right. Top right. On my top right, I just have the number of people here, the likes. Then there's 2 arrows going like this, 1 arrow going like this, 1 arrow going like that, which is actually when I change the view of my camera. Then there's the microphone, there's the camera, there's a star, there's the photo, which is when I do my pull. Then there's an arrow that goes down like this. When I click on that, yeah. Oh, I was out and I'm back. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Scrolled up to see the poll. When was the last time you liked a new release, Anna? That's a good question, sweetheart. When was the last time I liked a new release? I don't really like new releases. I'm always curious about Chanel exclusive and Guerlain exclusive, like the vanille extraits that came out. No, I mean the Guerlain exclusive extraits that came out. So one of them is Vanille Floria or something like that. My friend Virginie has the bottle. It's a 50 ml of Parfum Extrait, and it's like, what, $800 Canadian? That intrigued me. But then when I put it on, what's the difference between that and Double Spirituose Vanille? Not much, you know? Maybe Spence blocked you. He did? No, why would he block me? No. Scrolled up to see the poll. Just button mash. Let's figure it out. the good part about burners, you have extra likes now. Yeah. But I need to figure out how to click on all messages though. This I need to figure out. Jonathan says, just take the phone and wing it at the wall. That should do it. Yeah. You know how many times I had the urge of just throwing it out the window? But we got to be patient, eh? Dark Wonka actually has a channel about candy. I'm huge on YouTube, 23 subscribers. I'm kind of a big deal, Anna. Hey, everybody has to start somewhere. I started with 14 subscribers, right? I opened my YouTube channel in 2020, and it was just a place, as I so eloquently say, to dump my creative stuff there, like my plays and all that. I wasn't using it at all. I've always been a big YouTuber. Like I've always watched podcasts, listened to music and stuff like that. And then, slowly, I started getting on live streams, this, that, and here I am in 2026. No, I'm on my phone. When I do these live streams in the morning, I'm not on... the phone has the vertical, right? And then the landscape, the standard version, is my evening live streams, and it's that's why I always have the same background. It's on my desktop. John's tech support skills are matched. I'm here to help. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with the morning lives, you're alone, right? You don't have anybody on panel. It's you and the chat, and the chat is its own entity. They're just chatting away, and you could do polls, and everything has its positives, and yeah. So, what's up? What are you wearing, Spence? You didn't tell me your scent of the morning. What's your scent of the morning? What are you wearing? You got to go from top messages to all messages. The only thing I see that's top, Moose, it's top fans. That's it. I only see my top fans. And when I click on top fans, I see White Man Can Dunk, not so famous YouTuber, Ultimate, like I see everybody. Top fans shows me everybody. But I don't have, I don't know, I just can't see that. John and his tech support skills, says Dark Wonka, says Spence. He told me he would fix my Windows computer, and he took $3,000 in Walmart gift cards from me, and now he doesn't answer. I think he lives in Bangladesh. Have you tried looking at their channel and unblocking them there? Not sure if that's possible, but maybe. Do you have? Yes, I do, Moose. I have the wheel. I call it the wheel. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. It's at the bottom left. Today's scent, Anna, will be... Oh, I don't know that one. How do you pronounce it? Pico? Vayadama? Oh, wow. Yes, so what do I do, Moose, with that wheel icon? I click on it. Click on that. It's somewhere around there. Okay. Chat filter. Here we go. All messages. Yay! Giaconda got it. Thanks to Moose. It was on the wheel icon. Let me double check again. All messages. Yay, I got it. He has been released. I got it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So I learned something new. I'm back, baby. Woohoo! So why does it do that? Why does this choose itself, top messages. I never clicked on top messages. You know, it's so weird. That's why remember I was complaining? Why is the chat so freaking slow? I wasn't seeing all the messages. So you guys were seeing messages, and while I wasn't. Spence's channel is shadow banned. Oh my God. So can you imagine, Dahlia, all the messages I didn't see? Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? I've said crazy things on my friend's channel, so YouTube thinks I'm a deviant. Oh, Spence the deviant. Was listening whilst driving. Gotta go. Have a great day. Have a great day, Andy. Mwah! Wishing you a great day. See you soon. Yeah. Such great people in my chat. I'm such a lucky gal. I love you guys. Really, really. And my wrenches, just love you guys. Seriously. I'm a lucky gal. So 11 people here, 15 likes, 2 hours and a minute into this live. Madonna mia. Wow, wow, wow. Madonna mia. So new releases is what people want to talk about. And maybe, you know, the topic can be new releases. So what? They're full of shit. Or new releases. They're good, you know. Nevertheless, new releases, you know. Thanks for entertainment. I like that. Dennis always at the end, before he leaves, he always says, thanks for the entertainment. I like that. Dennis, one day you have to promise me that one day you'll be on my panel, on my evening streams. Okay? You don't have to be on video if you don't want. You could just be on audio. But I would love to have you on panel. The same thing with Andy. And Moose, the same thing with you. Makes a difference, you know, when you can hear the voice, you can hear the vibration. It makes a big difference. Maybe I'll wear Cinema. Oh, Cinema, I love Cinema by Yves Saint Laurent. I remember back in the day, it was a perfume my mother and I would both wear. Cinema is so elegant. Yeah. Yes, I know it's really early. And I'm so grateful that you're in my chat, Spence. It's 5:40, of course, because you're 3 hours behind. The same thing with Dahlia, no? Dahlia, you're 3 hours behind. You guys are morning birds, early birds, and night owls, both. We never sleep, basically, right, guys? We just never sleep. We never freaking sleep. That's the bottom line. Early and late birds. Yeah, we never sleep. We're always in the action. We're always in the action. But I love early mornings. I find early mornings so peaceful. You know what I mean? It's calm. Even if you live alone, and it's usually calm when you live alone, right? But there's something about the early morning. It's just you and the energy, you know? Insomnia. Yeah, I've had insomnia for a good 10 years. You learn to live with it, you know? What can you do? You learn to live with it. By the way, Content Creator of the Year had another meltdown video 2 hours ago. Oh, meltdown? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Let them do whatever. It's all good. Giaconda needs to focus on Giaconda, and that's it. My focus is on you guys, and that's it. The rest, it's not my business. I've had it since I was 9 years old. Oh, wow, really? No, me, it started about 10 years ago. But in my family, it's genetic, eh? We're not, like, my parents were never, like, big sleepers. We weren't the type of, growing up, I didn't have the type of parents that needed to sleep 8 to 10 hours. My dad was good with 5-6 hours. And my mom, 6. Not more than that. So, hey, oh, who's here? Giuseppe is here. Joseph. Mr. Joe is here. I'm only up because I have to go do an estimate at 10. And well, because I'm old and strange. You always complain that you're younger than me. What old? Hey, guess what I'm wearing, Joe? I'm wearing Boy. I'm wearing Boy by Chanel. Yeah. I'm wearing a fancy one today. You need around, yeah, me too. If I can get 4 straight hours, not interrupted, where I sleep an hour and a half, wake up, blah, blah, blah. Give me 4 solid hours. Oof, I'll be buzzing the whole day nonstop. Joe Soup. Diddley, you beautiful son of a. Joe is the best. Joe is the best. We love Joe. We love everyone in this chat. Okay, who's this? George Montoy. I'm so tired and wasted. 12 people here, 15 likes, 2 hours and 6 minutes into the chat. Giaconda is so happy. She figured out how to click on all messages. I know it sounds stupid, but hey, I learned one new thing today. Thank you again, Moose. What are you guys up to? Tired and wasted. It's the weekend, so that story checks out. I don't drink, but I understand. Yeah. Yeah, I can't have more than 1 or 2 glasses of wine. I'm an occasional drinker. Joe's here. I instantly feel younger. Guys, believe it or not, Giaconda's older than you guys. I'm 57. You know? I'm 57. So what should I say? So we need to do something. We need to have a live stream with Joe and Ali. She wants to join us. I would love to have Joe, Ali, and Jonathan. That would be one hell of a live stream. Going to work. Someone got to make the donuts for all the sinners. Have a good day at work, sweetheart. And we're going to touch base today. Just text me and we need to talk a little bit. Yeah. We got Joe, John, and Anna. It's like the AARP meeting. Yeah, we need to have a 50s party, eh? Yeah, we need to have a 50s. 50 is the new 40, or maybe the new 30. We need to be a role model to these young people, right? Yeah. George Montoy says, I'm getting too old for drinking. Yeah, I mean, drinking can get to you. Yeah, absolutely. It can wear you down. Depends. Like, I've never been a big drinker, so I don't know. But I did smoke, so I'm not any better. You know, smoking isn't better. 10 is the new newborn. There you go. 10 is the new newborn. Absolutely. 10 is the newborn. There you go. That's a new term. I've never heard that one. Dennis, I have a feeling that is another lovely Burner Nation member. Uh-huh. 6 years since I quit smoking. Yeah, me, it's a little bit over a year. Man, the withdrawal this time, because I had to quit one time for 10 years in my mid-30s, but I didn't have any withdrawals. Like, I mean, I had, you know, the tense feeling, but this time I actually had withdrawal symptoms. It wasn't fun. Once, hey John, once you're smoke-free and you get over the withdrawals, I mean, I have to admit, because when I walk down the street and sometimes I get a whiff, I'm like, oh, and let's say I'm having a hard day. I'm like, oh, it would be nice to just chill with a glass of wine and a cigarette in my hand, right? But then I tell myself, wait a minute, you don't need any of those to chill and relax your mind. You just need to relax your mind. That's it. You know what I mean? So it's a mind over matter thing, if you like. It's, you don't need anything, you just need your mind to tell you everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. There's no need to be stressed or feel anxious. I think about it once in a while, says Jonathan, but I have a nice cigar every couple of weeks. And that, yeah, like I know a lot of guys that smoke cigars, the scented ones, and there's like good quality cigars, of course. Yeah. I really don't like it anymore. Have a couple of gin and tonics every now and then, but I'm pretty much total these days. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end, we all have something that we do to relax and unwind, whatever that may be. That's going to be when I quit fragrances. I'll smell someone and jump back on the wagon or off the wagon, depending on how you look at it. True. Jill says, I've never smoked in my life. Really? But you look like an ex-smoker. I'm surprised. But I've been doing the stupid nicotine pouches for the last 6 months. But that doesn't make sense. You've been doing nicotine pouches, but you've never smoked? Huh? Did you vape? I don't get the concept of vaping, to be honest. Dark Side of the Moon on turntable, a bit funny, green tobacco. Ah, rolled and relaxing guaranteed. I've never smoked in my life, but I vape, so I get it. Oh, you vape. Okay. See, that I don't understand. People that never smoked that vape, or people that are ex-smokers that vape. I have to look for a new hobby. Let me see. So where are you from, George? Are you from the fragrance community? I vaped for a year and a half. Worst thing I ever did. You had like side effects, Jonathan? It helps while I'm at work. They have great flavors, Anna. They got me with the sweets. Yeah, I can imagine. Allison's son got me to try one and then I started using them. But no, never smoked in any way. Okay. I vaped some THC once. It was very nice and felt cleaner than smoking. Okay. Yeah, like I know people that vape THC, yeah, for sure. And it's a clean way of, relaxing and yeah, that I know. That's quite popular. I vaped some THC. Okay, it tore up my lungs. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you don't really know what's in that liquid. It's far worse than cigarettes, right? Far, far worse than cigarettes. So I know my ex tried vaping. He quit smoking and tried vaping, and the vaping was hurting his lungs more than cigarettes. So he quit the vaping and went back to cigarettes. Yeah, not so famous YouTuber. That's actually common. John, people who smoke cigarettes find vape harsh. Yes. And people who vape would find cigarettes harsh. Interesting. Go figure. Yeah. But they don't know what's in that liquid in the vape. That's the thing. That's what's scary. They don't really know what's in that liquid. What's in it? How can you know for sure that the chemicals won't have far worse damage than cigarettes? You know what I mean? Yeah. So we need to talk about new releases at some point. Although I'm not big on new releases, I'm willing to learn. So So George says, I smoke too, but I definitely lower my smoking. So where are you from? Are you from the fragrance community, George? Do we know you? Do I know you? 10 people here, 15 likes, 2 hours and 15 minutes into the live. It is 8:51 a.m. here in Montreal. Time flies when you're having fun. This is cool doing a Sunday morning live. I did a Sunday morning live last week, but I think I started it a lot later. This time I started like before 7 o'clock. I was like, oh, this is cool. I wake up smoking hot, if that counts, sexy Wonka. I think there is something called popcorn lung associated with vaping, but I don't know much about that, says Dave. Popcorn lung, oh wow. Yeah. Well, we have to worry about everything nowadays. Pesticides in fruits and vegetables, smoking, drinking, even I have an allergic reaction actually to red wine. So I don't know if it's linked with hormones and postmenopause, but I need to stay the heck away from red wine. So I can have some rosé and I can have most white wine, but red wine is better for you, right? It's good for your heart. But there's a chemical, something in most red wines that I'm allergic to. Okay. Sucking up the fumes. Actually, somebody had asked me if in Montreal we had remnants of the forest fire, and on my way home from work yesterday, we did. I was walking and I smelled the forest fire, remnants of the forest fire, and I had actually I need to follow up on her. A pregnant student in my class, she had a hard time breathing. I had one heck of a day yesterday, and was very worried about her. We ended the class a little bit earlier, and where I teach at the university, there's the metro is right there, but her husband couldn't meet her there. He could only meet her at a metro station 8 stops down. So I called her an Uber, so her husband can meet her at that metro station, because I was worried. She's like a young woman in her 30s. And now I think what was happening is she was breathing that and probably developed an allergic reaction. Yeah. Yeah. I live in Los Angeles, so I'm immune to smog. Yeah, we have a hard time with smog and fires. Yeah, it's true, depending on where you live. We've had all the remnants of your forest fires too. We've had code purple, air quality warnings. Yeah, John. In fact, as we were watching the doc, Allison bought tickets for September. Yeah, just catching up with the chat. You're from South America? Okay, George. Nice to meet you. Back in the day, you used to tell you to stay inside. Yeah. Yeah, but some people will have an allergic reaction to that, right? Uh-huh. They're big in South America, says Jonathan. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So here we are, guys. There's a lot of focus on that in the doc. I'm brainstorming topics for upcoming lives. New releases can be one of them. Hey, we can do a live celebrating our 50s. What do you think about it, boys? Huh? J and J, Joe and John, celebrating our 50s. Anna, do me a favor. Go outside and touch that tree for me. I'll touch my lemon tree before work. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, look, my tree's here. Wait, let me. My phone has charged enough. Jonathan hasn't seen my tree. And I'm not sure if Joe has. I'm not sure if Joe has. Have you seen my tree, Joe? That's my alarm. But I'll show you guys Giaconda's tree. People have told me, Anna, do your fucking live outside. Look at my tree. How big it is. And here I am. I did a 2-hour live inside. Am I stupid or what? And look at that statue. I call it my Eugene statue. He looks like Eugene. Doesn't he look like Eugene? So yeah, so this is like paradise, you know? I should just be here. Right, guys? What do you think? Should all my lives be here? Because this tree has such power. You haven't seen my tree, Joe? Anyways, do you like my tree? So if you and Allison ever come to Montreal, actually I need to put my table back. Come to Montreal, we chill here. Tell Eugene to stop showing his nipples to the squirrels. Oh yeah, here's a close-up of Eugene. This is my Eugene. I painted him, eh? I painted him. He was like, I found him at this store downtown. He was just like abandoned. And so I found him and another statue that I called Anna, actually. Yeah. I'm trying to multitask, which isn't very smart. I need to come back out. Okay, guys. So that's it for me. Yeah, man, it's the full ride in the dock. So much I remember from my youth. And now seeing them as old guys made me realize, yeah, this was fun. Yes, I'm going to let you guys go. Start my day. Thank you for being with me today, this morning. Thank you for a wonderful live. It's 222. Oh my God. I'm telling you, today's going to be a great day for Giaconda. Stay tuned for an upcoming live. And can't wait to see you guys. Love you guys. Ciao, ciao. Giaconda signing out. Take care. Bye-bye.